year, and I'm exhausted.
Third year in the business?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm
What's your
exhausted.
name?
Marcel,
Marcel McGee, got it. Where are you from?
Arizona, Phoenix.
Arizona, Phoenix. And you're exhausted?
I'm exhausted.
Really? Okay.
So I know that
Some people would say, join our team. You're being recruited over here by another team in Phoenix.
Okay, so
What's the question?
I did 16 my first year, 29 my second year. I got completely exhausted. I stopped doing what I was doing to bring the business in. Now I'm ramping it up again. And I told myself I was going to do a lot more time management, and I don't have time for that.
Yeah.
So I'm just...
I love how, give her a big round of applause, because I just love the honesty. Hold the microphone. So look, how many of you have been through that roller coaster besides me? All right, so do you have your notebook? I'm gonna have everybody write something down real fast. I want everyone to write for a second. Hand me that real quick. And I want you to write this too, and then get your notes and then come back. We're gonna do a little more Q&A, we're just waiting for everybody to get in. But I want you to write this down, guys. All of us inside this room have experienced what Marcel has experienced, the roller coaster of real estate, the roller coaster of life, the roller coaster of sales. Many moons ago, our coaches got together and we asked ourselves, okay, how can we solve this? If we can help people identify that there are a specific pattern that you follow, that through awareness of the pattern, I can begin to do something about it. But if you can't first say, Marcel, that there's a pattern to what I'm doing, you can never break the pattern. So let me give you something that we have used for decades. We call it the 6 phases of mastery. The 6 phases of mastery, so anywhere in your notes. And Marcel, where did you go? Okay, I want you to write. Thank you. I want you to write, because I'm doing this for you. Then you need to come up and tell me where you're at in the 6 phases. You ready? So phase number 1 is, you make a declaration. You make a declaration. Some people would call that goal setting. You know, it's an intention. This is what I'm committed to. 100 appointments, right? That's a declaration. You ready? Phase number 2, execution. Execution. So phase 2 is I'm like, okay, now I'm doing it. And whatever that is, right? It's making my calls, it's going to the gym, it's loving on my spouse, it's picking up my kids from school, whatever the declaration was, we all know at this point what actions you have to take. So it's execution. But here's the distinction that most people miss. So Marcel, write this down. It takes 90 days of execution before you get into phase 3. It takes 90 days of following through on the discipline. 90 days. We refer to it as a 90-day cycle of execution. So I say, I'm gonna do 100 push-ups a day. I gotta do it for 90 days before I see the real results of my work. If I start doing my calls to my database, or I start doing my follow-up at 8 to 10 and 4 to 6, or at least in those windows, right, where I'm really consistent, you're gonna get a bunch of success along the way, but what happens is we succeed and then we stop. Who knows what I'm talking about? Right? We succeed and then we stop, so we never finish the 90-day cycle. When we finish the 90-day cycle, it's where legends are created. It's the gal that just handed me a card 2 seconds ago who set all these amazing goals, and where is she? Maureen, I don't know if you're inside the room. Maureen, how much money have you earned year to date? She had 4 goals. I'm gonna do this, this, this. Start a brokerage, build a team, right? I'm gonna make this much money, take my family to Maui. She wrote it down, she reverse engineered the numbers, and then she executed like crazy. And she's sitting here, she said, Tom, I've been in coaching for a couple of years. I used to listen to all those people up front, all those people that are making $1 million and $2 million, and I'd say to myself, there's just no way I can do it. So I just became Forrest Gump and did the work, and now I'm sitting here 3 years later, I'm at like $2.8 million in commissions. It's insane, insane. Give Maureen a huge round of applause. Maureen, stand up, stand up. She's like, now I'm one of them. Now I'm one of them. Now I'm one of them. And now she believes. But Marcel, it was about the execution, right? Having 6 or 7 things that you're gonna do over and over and over, Forrest Gump. But I want you to write down, you ready? Phase 3. Phase 3 is called momentum. Hey, baby. You did so good on stage. Momentum. And if you think about momentum, how many of you can immediately conjure up in your own mind, what does it mean when your business is in momentum, right? Things are rolling, you're getting appointments, everybody's calling you. It's just like everything is going. And some people in human psychology call that the flow state, where it just all of a sudden things begin to feel effortless. Who has ever been in momentum in your business where it was starting to really speed up and you were like, this is awesome, right? We've all been there, we've experienced that. But there are two things that stop momentum, two things that kill momentum. So, you still writing? First thing that kills your momentum is a week of no activity. 1 week of no activity where you stop the cycle. It's like some of these beautiful people that were so authentic and shared that they were stopping alcohol as an example, right? What if you stop alcohol for like 90 days and then just for 1 week decide to go crazy? How much does that throw you off your life and game? So what I'm asking you to consider is that 1 week, and I'm not referring to a vacation. I'm referring to the 1 week where a deal goes sideways, you get a little upset, a person that you love lists their house with somebody else, something happens and you take it so personally that you shut down. Who besides me has ever been guilty of that? You with me? Like that stuff happens. It's called an unmet expectation. Something goes sideways, you get depressed, and you're like, I know what I'll do, Phil. I'll stop doing my job. That'll make things better. But we actually don't say that. We just go to, cry-in mode. But the second thing that takes you out of momentum is what we call a disaster. And a disaster is 30 days outside of your cycle. 30 days where you're not following through. How long have we been talking about this? 20, 25 years, right? Or more. So the second one is that disaster. And look, every one of us inside this room has probably experienced it in your career. Something happens, you just stop, you get shut down, 30 days go by, and you literally feel like you're a brand new agent starting over again. Who knows what I'm talking about? Say aye. So what do we have to avoid? The breakdowns and disasters. We got to avoid the breakdowns and disasters. So phase 1 of mastery is we make a declaration. This is what I'm going to do. How many of you made a declaration for the fourth quarter, right? September through December. You said 50 appointments, 10 transactions, 9 escrows, make this much. You all made that declaration. Then we said, what are the KPIs to get you there? And we talked about that $1 million day, Craig, and what's it going to take? For your daughter Madeline with her cookie business, it's going to be kicking ass in school and hustling all afternoon and night, building your business to take my money, right? But you got to follow through. But Madeline, here's the thing. It's 90 days. It's 90 days. And guess what? Most people quit around 60. And they don't quit because it's hard. They quit because they can't handle how much is going on now. Oh my God, I've got so many listings, I've got so many appointments, I've got so much, what am I gonna do? I've never had this many escrows, I've never had this many listings, And then guess what happens, guys? How many of you just in the first 3 see how most people do this? I have no money, I'm committed, work my ass off, get things going, get some deals going, stop everything, spend all the money, start over, and literally they go phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, and they do that sometimes 2 to 3 times a year. Look your buddy right in the eye and say, it's all about the 90-day cycle. It's all about the 90-day cycle. So now, here's the good news. You ready? There is actually more business beyond momentum, but it requires this one, number 4. Phase 4, we refer to as stabilization. I know all my coaching members, you're hearing, conversations with your coaches about this, that we need to stabilize your business. We need to stabilize your marketing. We need to stabilize your follow-up so we kill those big crazy cycles. So maybe instead of, 0 transactions, 5, you do 2 and then 7 and then 4 and then 8. That's way better than 0, 0, 9, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1. Now, stabilization, you ready? requires constant communication, no hiding, constant communication, no hiding, and the most important distinction, and you guys got it before we went to lunch, is that everything is run on checklists and systems. How do you stabilize your business? Everything is run on checklists and systems. The moment I have to think about everything that has to be done, I get overwhelmed. But when I look at the checklist and say, just for today, I got to do those 7 things. And I got to squeeze them in someplace. I just got to get those 7 things done. And it's simple. But look up here. Is there anybody besides me that has ever used memory as your business plan? How's that work out? I mean, you're all giggling because you know what I'm talking about. So, stabilization. William, how long have we been talking about this? I mean, as long as I've known you, right? 23 years. One of my old personal clients, by the way, cancer survivor, badass real estate agent from Monterey, California, William Smith. Love this guy. Like Debbie Holloway, he was a part of my first cat food bet 1,000,000 years ago. So he's been hearing me talk about stabilization forever. So stabilization, communication, no hiding, running it by checklist. But then that's not the best phase. The best phase is phase 5. Phase 5, ready? It's called the quantum leap. The quantum leap. And you've experienced it in some area of your business where you were getting results, and all of a sudden it went like this, boom, to this huge new level of results. You know, I've always been able to get like, you know, maybe 1 or 2 listing appointments a month, and then all of a sudden you set like 15 in 1 month. Boom, this new quantum leap, this new level of performance. But here's the mistake. You ready? You all are gonna have it between now and the end of the year. Every single person inside this room is gonna have some form of what feels like a quantum leap. It's probably just momentum. It's probably just you're getting ready. You don't even know what your real quantum leap is until you've completed 3 or 4 90-day cycles. Did you write that down? You got to get through 3 or 4 90-day cycles. That's when all of a sudden, boom, this huge, like you literally find yourself like, last year I made like $80,000 and I'm at like $410,000 this year. This is bananas. And yet we say, how did you do it? And you're like, I just stayed focused. I made my calls. I did what I was supposed to do, Phil. I did just a little bit more 2 or 3 days a week where I used to do it maybe like twice a month. And instead, I was doing it 2 to 3 days a week, and I got this huge result. That's what happens. But write this down. When you have the quantum leap, you have to back up and restabilize. You have to restabilize for the new level of success, the new volume, the new number of listings, the new number of appointments. If you don't restabilize, you naturally will drop back down to the service and the time that you have. So the game is, as you're feeling that quantum leap coming up, you need to be in communication saying, hey man, I'm feeling it. I'm about to have my biggest month ever. This is bananas. Well, guess what? What follows the biggest month ever? If you don't add more system and structure and organization, what happens? You with me? There was a young woman that came up to me up here wearing a gray shirt. I'm guessing Indian descent. You saw me in Orlando 3 years ago. You were brand new. There she is, right? You need to come over here. She says to me, I don't want to misquote the numbers, I went to your event in Orlando, and I got all excited, and I made a fortune, and then I stopped. Who knows what she's going through, right? I did it, I got all excited. Tell me your name again. Payal. I want to make sure I say it right. Let me show me. Yeah, Payal. So how long in the business? How long in the business? Okay, 3 years doing sales. Massive jump after the seminar. Turn to your buddy, look at your buddy and say, you're going to have a massive jump after this event. Right? How many of you know that to be true? Say aye. Like, that's not motivational. Shit, you spent 3 days or maybe 4 days in Vegas. You got a notebook full. Sure, you probably had a little too much alcohol at least once, But there's gonna be enough inside there for you to go out and go, flip, 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 I'm just gonna do that one. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm just gonna follow up my leads. Right? And your business is gonna go up. But as Payal and I were discussing, I said, well, why are you here? She goes, well, I came back because I did all this business and then I've just trailed off and I haven't seen you in like 2 years. I was like, oh, magic formula. Maybe you should see me more often. You with me? So I said to her, hey, you gotta get systems and process in organization. She needs phase 4. You guys with me on this? She needs to look at phase 4 and say, am I in communication? Am I running my business by checklist and system, or am I running it based on emotion? If you're running your business based upon emotion, are you gonna win or lose? You tell me. Come on, real loud. Now, I have passion. I'm not talking passion. I am passionately following my schedule. I am passionately doing my plan. I'm not talking that. I'm saying you cannot let the emotional roller coaster control and dictate, do I do my 90-day discipline or not? Does that make sense? Does that make sense? Are you gonna do what we talked about? Good job. Okay, are you serious? Because I'm like, Payal, you made a bunch of money, you listened to me, you left, I haven't seen you in 2 years, you're back, and she's like, I'm afraid that I'm just gonna do all this business again, and then, it's gonna die down again. What do you think I said to her? I'm like, hire me to coach you, right? And secondly, see me all the time. It's called the winning formula. You with me? When you suddenly find what works, do it and do it and do it and do it and do it. Make sense? Okay, and I'm gonna give you an hour for free with me if you actually pull the trigger. You going to? I don't believe you. Go do it right now. No, right now. You get an hour with me. No crying this time. She was crying last time. So you ready? What's phase 5? And what do you have to do after the quantum leap? Guys, Payal is all of you inside this room if you don't say to yourself, wait a minute, I'm leaving this event, I'm going for 100 appointments, 50 appointments, you know me, I don't care, I just want you committed to something. Carrie McGee, when she's like, I'm just gonna call 7 people a day. I'm gonna do 7 people a day. I'm like, hey, you won the $1,000. She goes, Tom, do you realize how much money you've made me for actually calling people 39 days, 7 times? She's like, I made a fortune. The $1,000 I'm gonna give away to charity. She's not at a quantum leap. She's only in momentum. But what if she stops making the calls? What happens? What if she stops making the calls? What happens? Guys, if you owned a gas station, I just want you to imagine, like a gas station in your town. Imagine you buy a gas station for 100 grand, 200 grand, whatever the cost is, $1 million. And Phil, you got that gas station on a busy corner in a busy part of town with no Teslas to be found. You with me on this? How many days a week do you have that gas station open? Every day. How many hours a day is it open? 24/7 if I can do it. Doesn't the same rule apply to us? I know the guy Tom that owns the gas station by my house on PCH and Avocado in Corona Del Mar. I've known that guy forever. His parents basically gave him the gas station. I know what that guy earns. He doesn't earn the kind of money you guys earn. But he's at that gas station 7 days a week, all day long, smile on his face, having a ton of fun, but he's not making the kind of money you guys can make. You guys can create transformational wealth for the people that you love and yourself. Say to your neighbor, transformational wealth. And that may sound, well, Tom, you don't understand, I'm 60. Shut up. Tom, I'm only 30. Awesome. But you ready? When you have that quantum leap, you restabilize, you get back to a quantum leap again, and then phase 6. Phase 6 is where a lot of my friends in this room are at, and they may not see it the way I see it, but I know their vacation schedules and their life schedules, and I know the teams that they put in place. Phase 6, my friends, write this down. Deals and dollars happen with or without me. Deals or dollars happen with or without me. Deals or dollars happen with or without me. Right, Charles? deals or dollars happen with or without me. Who wants to get to phase 6? How many of you now see that there is a path that you have to go through? You don't go, I'm going to build a team and tomorrow, and you go to phase 6. How many of you saw James Suarez on Tom X talk about the 12 steps of running a team, right? Remember that talk? Right? It's a journey that you're going to go through. You're going to go through this product. So come back up and talk to me now. What phase are you in? Is it it's Marcella, right? Marcella? Will you? Oh, no A. Okay. Marcel. What phase are you in right now? I think I already know the answer.
I would say 90 days of execution and follow through discipline.
Okay. So you're in phase 2, where you're executing for 90 days.
Yes.
You with me?
Yes.
So how many days are you in?
Day 1.
Day 1. So she's probably truthfully at phase 1, I made a declaration, unless you started taking action today and making phone calls.
Yeah, absolutely. I made 10 phone calls this morning.
She made 10 phone calls this morning, ladies and gentlemen. Give her a huge round of applause. Awesome. So you ready? Mm-hmm. Here's the thing that you're going to get. Real estate is a lonely business. Who's figured that one out? I had a friend of mine say to me this morning, and I won't say his name because many of you would know him. He is the CEO of a company, and he flew in here from someplace else. He's like, I just wanted to see you. Just showed up to hang out. Gave me a hug this morning, didn't get to see David Goggins, and got on a plane and left. You know what he said to me? He said, man, I just realized it's just lonely. It's just lonely doing what you do. And what you need is a team of people around you that you love and that you can support, because it's just more fun when you're arm in arm with people that you love. You with me on this? So I already know you don't have an assistant, you don't have a buyer's agent, you don't have people on your team. You know, you're doing it on your own, right?
I have an assistant.
You have an assistant. Do you like him or her?
I do.
Are they here?
No.
Oh, okay. So you went to this conference, and what you're going to do is do seagull management to your system. Fly back on Monday, poop, 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 and fly away. You guys know what that is? You're like this. Okay, I went to this Tom Ferry seminar. Here's all this shit you don't understand. Do this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Your assistant should be here.
She's coming next time.
She's coming next time. All right, so you ready? If your assistant isn't enough, and listen to me, I don't know your assistant, I don't know your situation, does she need more training?
Absolutely.
Okay, are you a hero and she's a minion? Or do you guys look at each other eye to eye and she could say to you, dumbass, get on the phone and do your job?
No, she cannot.
Okay, so you're the hero, she's the minion. How many of you get what I'm talking about? Hero and the minion is a syndrome that a lot of people have when they hire somebody or they start to build a team. They think that they are the golden child and can do no wrong, and you are my slave.
No, not necessarily. I think I'm just I have a fear of letting go and giving up control.
So you hired somebody to oversee their work and then micromanage them and do it all for them.
I'm getting better. I really am.
She may be the only person I'm going to say you need to start drinking. Okay, so here's the deal. You ready? It is so empowering when you turn to, ready? She's not your assistant anymore. Let me give you a new title. You ready? She's the director of operations. And the director of operations holds a management position in your business. And in a true great team and a true great business, the director of operations can say to the CEO, hey, we're off track, we need to make an adjustment, you gotta step up your game. And by the way, we don't have enough people here. You're busy, you're working 7 days a week, I'm watching you, you're tired, and you're miserable. You're working with buyers, and you're doing this stuff, you're a listing agent, you know what I mean? You need to do this, we need to divide and conquer, we need to bring more people in, and you gotta get your ass out of the way. You with me? And let her run the business. She runs the business, and you be Forrest Gump. Do you ever see the movie Forrest Gump? Okay.
Okay.
Could you imagine if Forrest Gump was selling real estate in your office and I was his coach? Because I'd say, Forrest, here's your job. Do this, do this, do this, do this. And what would he say? Okay.
Yeah.
And when you get the paperwork in, hand it off to the director of operations. Okay. And then they're going to do the marketing. Okay. He'd sell 1,100 homes his first year in the business. You need to get dumb and do the work. Okay, so there's a lot there for you. The 6 phases was my gift to you. You need to take that back to your assistant. Now what? What is your assistant now?
My director of operations.
Your director of operations. By the way, she should Google director of operations job description. She's going to get totally empowered. When she asks for a raise, this is what you say. I am going to give you a raise in direct correlation to the amount of customer service we get, 5-star reviews on Zillow. Every 5-star review on Zillow we get that I didn't have to ask for, that you generated, I give you a $250 bonus. All of you all pay attention to that? Every 5-star review you generate on Zillow that I didn't have to ask for, $250 bonus. And for every closing we do from myself or the new team members we add, it's an additional $250 bonus. Something along those lines. And you incentivize the behaviors that you want. Make sense? And you better pay. Because if she's going to step up her game to help you, she deserves that compensation. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, now, regarding being tired, shut up.
Okay. Okay.
Listen, how old are you?
44.
Okay, I see your eyes. You look like you're about to cry.
No, I'm good.
Okay, just in the glasses and the reflection?
I guess, yeah.
Okay, listen to me. My mentor, 81 years old, is in hospice right now. He's dying. He was like a second father to me. The one thing he taught me more than anything else, hard work. Hard work. I saw him a week ago before this, sat with he and Steven, and he got all amped up, even though he's got lung cancer, a failed lung, kidney failures. I mean, his body is going away. And this guy, who is on his deathbed, gave us everything he had. And you say you're tired. You're not tired, girl. You got 60% more in you. 60% more. You with me? 60% more. 60% more.